tax returns for 2025 are now due for filing. You are supposed to do that from 1st January to 30th June 2026. And I have been receiving some questions from Kenyans, especially those ones living in diaspora. And these are the questions. Number one, do I need to pay taxes in Kenya just because I am a Kenyan, even if I don't live there and I don't generate any income there? And question number two is, yes, I live abroad. I am a Kenyan living in diaspora. But the question is, yes, I do earn income there back in Kenya. I have some rental income. I do some businesses there. So am I supposed to pay taxes in Kenya even though I don't live there? And the third question that I normally receive is, yes, I am a Kenyan and I live here in Kenya completely, but I do earn some foreign income from diaspora. So the question is, am I supposed to pay taxes to KRA for the income that I have generated abroad? So those are the three questions that I would want to unpack and address. So it's good that we understand that the Kenyan system, the Kenyan tax system is based on source. You are not taxed just because you are a citizen of Kenya. You are taxed based on where you earned your income. Where did the economic activity happen? The source of your income. So now, if you are a Kenyan who is living in diaspora and has zero income being generated here in Kenya, that you don't have a rental properties, you don't have a business that you are running here, you don't do farming, you have zero income coming from Kenya, you are not supposed to pay any taxes to KRA. Because the good thing with the Kenyan system, we use source-based taxation policy, which means you pay taxes based on where you have generated that income. It would be unfair to where you are that after you have generated income, maybe in US or in UK, then Kenya system requires you to pay tax back here in Kenya. They are not providing you with infrastructure, they are not providing you with security. Just because you're a citizen of Kenya does not justify the Kenyan system to come after you. So feel free, relax. If you fall under that category, your case is as simple as that. For category 2, Kenyans who are living in diaspora but have businesses here in Kenya, or they have a rental income that they generate back here at home. Even though in certain year of income from January to December, you are not seen here, you did not visit Kenya, as long as you are generating some income here in Kenya, you are supposed to pay taxes to KRA. But it's only for that income that has been derived, that has accrued from Kenya. So if you are employed outside Kenya, that employment income, the taxes you are not supposed to pay here in Kenya, because of course the concept of double taxation. If you are charged here in Kenya and you still pay where you are, then your income would be taxed twice, which is illegal and which is not allowed. However, for the income, the rental income that you generate here in Kenya, maybe you run a business, you run a hotel, you run a hardware, a school, a hospital, that income that you derive from the Kenyan source, the taxes are supposed to be paid here in Kenya. So don't say that I am not a Kenyan citizen. Yes, I am a Kenyan citizen, but I'm not a Kenyan resident. I did not even visit Kenya in that particular year of income. No. That's not how it works. As long as you are here, you have economic presence here in Kenya by someone, either an agent who is working under you, operating a business here in Kenya, you are supposed to pay taxes for the Kenyan business that is generating profit here. Now, let me go to the third category. And this is the category for Kenyans who live and stay here in Kenya. However, they have some foreign income that they generate from diaspora. Maybe they have bought some shares of Tesla or Facebook. You can mention any business, Netflix, any business that is abroad. So they have invested in shares in those countries and in those companies. So any investment income that they receive from abroad, it is not supposed to be subjected to taxation here in Kenya. Because, as I repeat, the Kenyan system uses source-based taxation policy. Where did you generate your income from? If it is not Kenyan, then don't worry. So for a Kenyan who lives here but you should not worry about that. You should only worry about the income that you generate here in Kenya. That one you have to pay taxes for. And it's good to also understand this brings in the concept of tax planning. If you're a Kenyan here and you feel there's somewhere you can invest your money where you will be taxed at a lower tax rate than Kenya, by all means, don't invest here in Kenya, invest there. Because once you have invested there and you are taxed there, you will be able to bring back your money here in Kenya and it will not be taxed again, because Kenya system does not tax foreign income just because you are a Kenyan citizen. So that's a good thing. Let me say this to those Kenyans who live in diaspora and they don't earn any income here. This could be those people permanently living in diaspora and they have zero income. It could be students. You're a student and for the next 4 or 5 years, you don't purport or plan to earn any income here in Kenya. Or maybe you are a retiree who retired here in Kenya and left for diaspora with no income here in Kenya. What you need to do is to apply for KRA PIN dormancy. Applying for KRA PIN dormancy means that you will not be required to file nil returns every other time the filing of taxes fall due. Because as long as your PIN is active, whether you are in Kenya or diaspora, whether you are earning income here in Kenya or not, you are supposed to file nil returns to KRA. And of course, every other time you don't file returns, including nil, you attract penalties from KRA. It is 2,000 per year. But if you operate as a company, then it means it is 20,000 per year. That is the penalty. So what you need to do is apply for PIN dormancy. Basically what that means is that your PIN will be put in an inactive status. So you can lock your PIN for the next 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And therefore, there are no penalties that will accrue to you every other time you don't file any returns. And of course, you will not be required to file any returns because your PIN is inactive. However, there are documentation that you have to give to KRA to really demonstrate that you are no longer living in Kenya. Not just any other person who wants to just avoid filing nil returns every other year and you think you can take that shortcut and apply for PIN dormancy. It only applies for those people who have got good documentation to prove that they are no longer living in Kenya for the time being, whether they are students, they are retirees, or they have been permanently employed in a foreign country. So those are the 3 categories about the questions that Kenyans normally wonder. I am a Kenyan who with zero income here in Kenya. Am I supposed to pay taxes just because I am a Kenyan citizen? And the answer is no. Number 2, but as long as you have not applied for PIN dormancy, as long as you have not applied for PIN dormancy, for heaven's sake, you should file nil returns. Yes, you are a Kenyan living in diaspora, zero income here in Kenya, but as long as your KRA PIN is active, ensure that you file for nil returns. On the other hand, if you are a Kenyan living in diaspora but you have some businesses in Kenya, by all means proceed to file your taxes for the Kenyan-based income that you have generated here. Now, the third one is a Kenyan who is living here, a resident but has foreign income. Foreign income is not taxed here in Kenya. You can enjoy it and you have the liberty to invest anywhere and bring money back here in Kenya. It's a good thing. Now, let me talk about a company. All these definitions and discussion that I have had, they also apply to a company. If you register a company here in Kenya, it is supposed to pay taxes here in Kenya for the income that is generated here in Kenya. But for income that it has generated abroad, then that's a different thing. The same thing, it needs to be paid for taxes in that country that you have generated income from. However, for foreign companies that are here in Kenya, they need to pay taxes here in Kenya for the income and for the profits that have been earned or generated here in Kenya. However, for those other incomes that they generate in other countries other than Kenya, those taxes are not supposed to be paid here. So see, a foreign company should only pay taxes for the income that it has generated in Kenya. Other income that it has generated elsewhere, including its mother country, it is not supposed to pay taxes here in Kenya. Like Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola only pays taxes for the profits that have been generated here in Kenya. But for profits that it generates from other countries, it doesn't pay those taxes here in Kenya. So in summary, we are in that tax season where we are supposed to file returns. I hope that will guide you on how to file your taxes and to answer those questions that are usually very disturbing. Yes, I am a Kenyan, but I don't earn any income there. Yes, I'm a Kenyan, I don't live there. But yes, I do have some business transactions from Kenya. Or yes, I am a Kenyan, but my income is fully abroad, comes from abroad. So do I still pay taxes here in Kenya? As far as income tax is referred, you don't pay. What you pay if you live here in Kenya, but you don't have income, you pay indirect taxes. Of course, those are taxes that you pay whenever you are spending your money. When you buy fuel, when you buy bread, when you buy clothes, when you buy furniture, you pay those indirect taxes. But for direct taxes, income tax, which is a direct tax, you don't pay as long as your income is 100% foreign. And of course, before I wind up, you also don't pay taxes here in Kenya if you live in Kenya, but your employment income or your income of whatsoever is less than 24,000 per month. Any person whose income is less than 24,000 per month, they don't pay taxes here in Kenya. So as I keep saying, when you know better, you will file your tax returns better.